If you are getting pings for your purpose, do not ignore it. That is what moves mountains. That is what creates miracles. That is what co-creates with the energy of love and really letting this time be your magnetic holiday season. Guys, the time is finally here. We are announcing our end of year challenge theme. After a full year of this stripping and transformation and change and identity rebuilding and trying to discover who we are in this season of life, this challenge will be your soft landing, a 15-day journey to reparent, reattune, and reconnect with the most authentic parts of you. Introducing the Return to Magic 15-Day Manifestation Challenge. I'm so excited. We are going to go through every single phase of childhood development and reparent and nurture and nourish every single aspect of us and reclaim any magic, authenticity, truth that we have left behind or have not allowed to emanate from our soul. Our play, our curiosity, our unearned, deep deservingness to rest, our ability to be magnetic and joyful and seen, a full expression of self. I cannot wait for this one. We are kicking off on December 1st with the pre-week. We have 5 brand new deep imaginings to help you integrate all of these aspects. And really what this challenge is helping you do is to dissolve those old protection mechanisms, those parts of selves that take the driver's seat and get in our way, and instead rebuild your inherent, unshakable self-worth, your unshakable, regulated, grounded, supported nervous system, your unshakable no when things are not aligned. This is where you can allow your authenticity to finally feel safe to come out to play, to express, to be the fullest, most magnetic, most aligned version from you. Because from this place, no manifestation is off the table. Like, it can get as big and beautiful and incredible as you authentically dream up. This is where our sense of magic is going to come back alive, our sense of wonder, curiosity, play. This is the medicine that I think we're all secretly craving in a quick 15-day challenge. The challenge will stay open so you can go at your own pace, return to the different modules as you need them. There are tons of play and embodiment and integration exercises in each phase. There's new teachings, there's new videos. Like, it's a completely redone structure through the inner child phases, and really a reclamation of all of these parts. And the one thing I want to say for anyone new listening who maybe hasn't done inner child work before, this is the core of our blocks. You know, when we look at the manifestation process, it's expanding, unblocking, taking aligned action. When we look at the blocks, the places and spaces that we push our manifestations away, that we subconsciously fear them, we don't feel safe near them, that is where we can go back in and take a peek at that blueprint. What did we learn about our worth here? What did we learn about what was safe for us? What did we learn about our relationships? What did we learn about money? What did we learn about all of these things in those very formative years, especially the 0 to 7 phase? And when we can go back in and flood our system by reparenting and giving ourselves exactly what we authentically wanted and needed in childhood, so we could develop our sense of self-worth and magnetism and authenticity fully, that is where the real magic and alchemy starts to happen. And the beauty is we get to do it as an entire community, holding each other's hands through this entire process. Oh, I am just so excited, guys. This is going to feel like the warm hug, the attunement, the love and nurturance that your soul was craving. It's not about going in and blaming any things that you didn't get met. And it's not even really about bringing up all of the old traumas necessarily. It's really way more about the nurturing. It's way more about the attuning and validating and seeing yourself and feeling somatically what that would feel like to be seen, to be taken care of in the ways that you authentically and uniquely wanted to be in childhood, so you can be that fully integrated sense of self today. It's going to be so magical, guys. We have so many play exercises. This is where our favorite hobbies are recirculating, our favorite movies, our favorite games, our favorite ways to play and experience joy and laughter and magic. Like, this is where we get to reactivate all of it together. We have our big end of year sale going on right now where you can join our membership for 30% off. Our biggest sale ever. Come join the membership. That's where you'll access the challenge. It's only accessible in the pathway. I can't wait to see you guys in there. And we're going to kick off on December 1st. Oh, I'm so excited. And on today's episode, we're going to get into the biggest energetic themes and blockages and aspects of resistance people are facing right now. And it just so happens that so much of what everyone's going through, the medicine is going to be coming back to self in this challenge. I'm so excited to see you guys in there and experience this magic and get to experience parts of ourselves, like the most magical parts of ourselves that maybe we haven't given access to in a really long time. It is going to be an incredibly magical season, and we cannot wait to see you guys in there. And now a word from our partners. If there is one product I could recommend that has been helping my skin feel youthful and radiant, it is Bon Charge's Red Light Face Mask. I'm not someone who has tried or tested any injectables, fillers, Botox, anything. And for this chapter of my life, at least this season, it has not called to me. So I'm constantly looking for ways that I can support my skin and nourish my skin while aging as gracefully as possible. And like all of Bon Charge's products, they have the most science-backed, high quality and optimized products. Their red light face mask has red light at 630 nm and near infrared light at 850 nm, which are the most beneficial wavelengths of red and near infrared light to deliver maximum and lasting results to your skin. It helps reduce fine lines and wrinkles. It plumps the skin for that glowy post-facial looking skin. It can help improve texture and tone. And I've noticed, because I have so many sunspots from my young college years and the tanning beds, which I so regret, it really helps reduce the appearance of the sunspots by stimulating skin cell renewal, boosting the collagen, and improving my overall skin tone. And you can see results in just 10 minutes a day. I know currently my habit with it is first thing in the morning when I lay down for my DI or a meditation, I'll pop on the mask. I do the 20-minute setting, everything at the highest level setting, because I want the most out of it. And I've only been doing it 2 or 3 times a week, and I notice a difference every single time. So if you are looking to elevate your skincare in such a deep way, I highly recommend Bon Charge's Red Light Face Mask. Right now, it is currently Bon Charge's holiday sale, so you can receive a massive 25% off by just heading to boncharge.com, and your 25% off code will be automatically applied to your order. The sale ends on the 31st of September, 2025. So hurry and don't miss this massive chance to save big on your favorite Bon Charge products. And now, onto the episode. There is a lot coming up in the collective right now. Maybe it's the end of the year, maybe it's the things going on in the world, but everything feels really like there is a ton of energy. It feels like there's a lot of change. Everyone is on their own internal journeys, while collectively, we're all on this collective journey, and it just feels like a whirlwind. And from talking to a lot of members and friends and people in our community, one of these themes that have been coming up so much for people is the resurgence of areas of their life that they have worked through, chipped away at, examined, brought to the surface, brought to their awareness at some point, and is now coming back again. And so I wanted to share just some insights around navigating that, reclaiming our sovereignty for this season, because it's really easy to get swept up in the distraction. I literally have a journal here and was taking notes before filming this because I was like, kept getting ideas coming through and through and through. So the first thing I want to touch on is this element of distraction. Sometimes when we are at a nervous system overload, we are at fight, flight, freeze, fawn, even micro stressors in our day-to-day that are just coming at us nonstop, it can be really easy to just seep right into the sphere of distraction. Now, distraction can look different for everyone, and you'll kind of know what your go-tos are, whether that's going on social media, whether that's watching TV for a really exorbitant amount of time. Sometimes the distraction can even be perfectionism, of spending so much time trying to perfect something instead of releasing it out. But I'm getting a really strong ping that the distraction is very high right now. And if we are not able to attune to our own North Star, you can get swept up into it. And this kind of brings me to my second point that was coming up, which is that a lot of people have asked questions recently about getting confused of what is correct for them, what is right for them in this season. They're like, oh, should I make this choice or this choice? Is this relationship correct for me? Is it not? Is this career correct for me? Is it not? Is this the way I'm doing this correct for me? Is it not? And I want to bring you back to one of the most basic frameworks and thoughts to think about when you're having that choice. And that is to have a moment of stillness and get clear on what you have the vision for yourself, for your future. Do the Dream Life DI, do the Abundant Life DI, do the Purpose and Soul's Essence DI that will be dropping in the challenge starting in December. Start sitting with the vision of your future that feels most aligned, and less about the very specific details of where you'll be and what you'll be doing, but more so the essence. I was talking to a friend who was messaging me about a job opportunity she got to move across country. And I was like, well, take a peek at when you think about raising your family and where you'll be, what things feel like a non-negotiable? What are the things that you're like, I can't imagine not having this for my kids, and this would be so nourishing, and this is the environment I want to be in, right? And for her, that was like somewhere rooted, somewhere that there was tons and tons of nature, so her kids could just immerse in nature, learn from nature, be absorbed with it, not be in a busy city atmosphere. So that was a big non-negotiable, and the place that she was thinking of moving had a ton of this. So I think for anyone who's questioning right now, is this correct for me? What is the right choice? I'm not sure what's right for me. Just go back to that North Star. We're in the middle of the TBM book club, our manifestation masterclass, as we're calling it. In doing that, we are going back to our authentic code, which is the 4 pillars of our soul's desires, our passion, our biggest expression in life, the ways that we value and joyfully interact with the world. So from that place of authenticity, we are then looking at our list. Now, I know for me personally right now, my full list is not ready to be fortified. Maybe it's going to hit me in the new year. I'm starting to get ideas and pings and I'm writing them down, but a very specific list has just not crystallized yet. I feel like I'm still needing to pull back different layers, but I'm starting to get the vision. So I just want anyone out there, especially this time of year, there is such a portal energy between November to December to January that can really catapult us forward because we can utilize the energy of joy and play and hope to expand faster in order to connect with our manifestations. So I just want to put that out there for anyone. If you're having that confusion over like, is this correct for me? Start getting the vision of your North Star. Start crafting that vision of what your dream life looks like, of what you actually want. Because if you have nothing to kind of cross-reference it to, you're not going to know if it's correct for you. It's a complete guess, and you're using your logical mind to try to weigh out the logical options. If anyone has done this work, it's not about the correct or what you should do option that's going to bring you the most fulfillment and manifestation. It is doing what is authentically aligned for you. So start carving out that North Star. If you have the whole list come through, if you're like, I know clearly I want this, write it down, set it in motion, start preparing for it. But I just want to give permission to, if you're not getting that ping yet, that's okay. Just take notes. You're going to get more and more details, and you'll be able to like color in the lines and all the textures as the season progresses, especially if you're creating that space. Which brings me back to the distraction piece. In order to get that crystallized vision, we have to slow down. I'm just going to say it. We're all feeling it, and we're all feeling the pressure, especially if you have kids, if you have family, if you have obligations, if you have work parties, if you have travel plans. It feels busy, and it can get very easy to slip into busyness. But I want you to be really intentional about not co-creating with the busyness. How can you say, wait, I need 5 minutes here? Do not co-create with the narrative of this busyness. You can choose to opt out of it altogether. And it doesn't mean you have to overhaul your schedule or cancel all your plans or go hermit for the holidays. It just means in those very micro moments where you recognize, oh my gosh, I'm going back on that hamster wheel, or oh my gosh, I'm going back into this distraction, or oh my gosh, I'm going back into the plans that all my friends and family want to do, instead of taking a beat and saying like, wait, what do I need today to make today the most fulfilling day for me? Even if you only have 10 minutes to do that for yourself, make that the priority. I know right now, I personally feel so busy, and I want more than anything to cocoon in and get intentional with my TBM work. That is calling to me like no other this season. And I know once we launch the challenge, it will become even more heightened. And so I'm not having every single day where I'm able to make that routine yet, but I'm starting to craft a little bit more space each day so I can start to put more of my TBM practice into my day bit by bit as my checkpoint with myself, as my moment to kind of journal my feelings, journal my tests, see what's popping up, reconnecting with my authentic code, which by the way has shifted a little bit this season, which is very cool to see. But I just want to give that permission to anyone to not feed into that distraction. Okay, so the other thing that I sort of mentioned at the top that I was talking about in my broadcast channel on my Instagram is this theme that I'm noticing come up where people are starting to have those core wound tests, places that they've been tested or triggered before in the past are coming up again, but this time they're coming up at a different level. So if you did the money challenge with us this summer, I'm like, raise your hand. No one's in the room with me. But just think to yourself, if you did that challenge, think about the core wound blocks that you brought through there. And the visual I'm getting is that we were able to essentially give a couple of inches of our protector mechanisms, of our coping mechanisms off. We were able to like brush them off. We were able to clear some of those layers and be like, oh, right, that's not my story. Okay. It's almost like we gave the universe a couple of inches. We're like, all right, we're not going to react that way anymore. We're going to kind of transform this block in this way. And it's almost like those blocks are coming back around again to be like, you gave a couple inches, but you still have more to give. There are still things from this core wound narrative that you're holding on that are showing up in your actions, in your subconscious mindset, in your behaviors that are still inviting you to give a couple more inches. And I want to talk about this analogy too with core wounds, because a lot of times when we have an old pattern that we've worked through before in the past and it resurfaces, it can immediately bring up this feeling of fear or shame or disappointment because we're like, wait, I thought we worked through this. Why is this still here? And I want to reframe this because this isn't something that we need to feel bad about. This is actually completely normal. And this is actually how the universe will continue to test you by utilizing this core narrative over and over and over again as a way to get you to grow. So every single time you dust off those inches, like I was talking about, or you give back some of those, you release some of the protective mechanisms, you release some of the limiting belief attachments, you start operating from your new neural pathway that gets stronger and stronger. There will be those moments where it will be like, yeah, but remember that old neural pathway? Remember that old story? Remember that old way of being? That's so comfortable. That's so familiar. We've done that for years. Let's jump back there. It doesn't get rid of any of the places that you have already grown. It is building upon that. So for a visual metaphor, when you think of manifestations and you think of the onion layers, right? Your whole, worthy, authentic self is at the center. It is vulnerable. It is real. It is amazing and magical and has so many gifts and a unique essence and purpose and way of showing up in the world. And all of the layers outside of the onion are the protective shells. And a lot of those protective layers are similar narratives because they're core wounds. That's why the neural pathway connecting you with your core wound is so deeply trodden. It is used over and over and over again. We've had that framework, that blueprint ever since we were children. So that's why it's so strong. So when we are chipping away at those limiting beliefs through the deep imaginings, through our aligned actions, through expansion, we're starting to peel back an onion layer. And every single time you peel back an onion layer, you become more magnetic. There's more space for your magnetic, authentic self to start emanating out through the outside of the onion. Like your light literally starts bursting out more because there's less layers and blankets essentially on top of it, blocking the light from coming out. And you start to raise your self-worth in alignment with a new level of manifestations. So if you can envision this onion dropping a layer and then rising up the light, and then it meets a manifestation, and then it's going up, it's like, oh wow, I have another manifestation that's on another level that I haven't connected with yet. It starts rising up and it has to drop a new layer. And oftentimes the layers will be similar core wounds because those are the strongest pathways in our brains. So whenever you have an old wounding come up again, that's not a bad thing. It's actually a good sign. It means that you are up leveling again. If you have worked through it and you've had manifestations come through, that means you shed a layer. And now the universe is like, cool, you're ready to shed another layer when you start to get tested and triggered in that same space again. So one, get excited if you're getting tested in that same core wound. But in particular, right now, for this exact season of life, the ping I'm getting to share on this is that especially if it was a similar wound or theme that you have already worked through at any point during this year, the universe is like, great, you gave me a layer. I need you to give me like 5 more layers. It's kind of giving the message that I'm not messing around this time. You need to give up a little bit more of your protective coping mechanisms here. You need to trust a little bit more, and you need to start showing up more authentically because we want to raise your light and emanate your light a lot more. And this goes along so strongly with a conversation that we've been having on the speaking tour, which connects you back to authentic purpose in this season of life. Not purpose that's your, career identity or your one specific gift you have to give to the world. People have many gifts. People have many talents. They have many things to offer the world. The purpose, how we're redefining it, is how you authentically express your unique energy, gifts, magic, magnetism with the world. And then the result is what we kind of see as purpose, right? When people are like, oh, my purpose is to help people in this way. That may be the result of you living in your purpose, which is expressing your unique energy. I've been thinking a lot about how small rituals really change how we feel in our skin. And lately, the one that I've been looking forward to the most is right after my shower, lathering on Osea's Andaria body oil and body butter. It's not just skincare, it's this grounding moment where I can have appreciation for all the parts of my body, for being in my skin, for how much it supports me on a day-to-day basis. And it leaves my skin silky, sculpted, and glowing. I am also big on really clean, natural scents, and this has a bright grapefruit, lime, almost mandarin notes in it that just feels so soothing as if you're at a spa. It is clinically shown to improve skin's elasticity, moisture, leaving your skin more visibly firmer, smoother, and more supple. It's super lightweight, silky, fast absorbing, and really transforms my dull, dry skin into something so supple and soft without being heavy or greasy. Not to mention their skincare is clean, vegan, cruelty-free, and climate label certified. There is truly nothing better than having hydrated, smooth, soft, and glowing skin, especially as it starts to get into the chillier months. I have also been obsessed with their Dream Night Cream. It has been my go-to to keep my face moisturized as well. Get healthy, glowing skin for fall with clean, vegan skin and body care from Osea. Get 10% off your first order with code MAGNETIC10, that's all caps MAGNETIC 10 at OseaMalibu.com. You'll get free samples with every order and free shipping over orders of $50. Head to OseaMalibu.com and use code MAGNETIC10 for 10% off. If you're taking a probiotic, there's a good chance that it's not even working. Most probiotics die in your stomach before they even reach your gut. That's why I take Seed's DS-01 Daily Symbiotic. It's not just another probiotic. It's a pre and probiotic engineered with a capsule that actually delivers 24 clinically studied strains where they need to go. For me, the difference was clear. No more bloating, heavy feeling after meals, my digestion became healthier, I became regular, and even my skin felt better. Now it's the simplest part of my morning routine. 2 capsules with lemon water that sets the tone for the rest of my day. Because when your gut health is supported, everything else flows better. If you've been looking for a way to support your gut, this is the one I always recommend. Use code MAGNETIC, all caps, MAGNETIC 20 at checkout for 20% off your first month of Seed's DS-01 Daily Symbiotic. That's 20% off your first month with code MAGNETIC, MAGNETIC 20 at seed.com/TBM or check out the link in the show notes. So there's this calling for that. We've been talking about this on tour. We're kicking off our end of year challenge. Pre-week is all about this. We're launching the new Purpose and Soul's Essence DI so you can get clear on this. We're going to be talking about purpose even more so come January. But this theme of what is the truth of my authentic expression that is calling for me to express from in this season of life that may be different from how you've been expressing before. So what would be some examples of that? Some people that may look like I have been a career businesswoman my whole life, and now I'm a mom, and there is a deep calling for me to be with my kids, to be present with them, to be slower, to be softer. And so your expression of your unique, authentic gifts that you at one point brought to the career world might be asking for those gifts to be focused on your family. For someone else, that might look like you've worked in a career field for a really long time or at a company for a really long time. And maybe you had stripping in that area where either the company shifted, the income shifted, the role shifted, the company had layoffs, and you're having to rebuild who is your identity in this career landscape. Who do you want to be now? If you could build it from the ground up in a full expression of you that feels aligned with your gifts, with your talent, with your background, what would that be? I witnessed a friend recently take I wouldn't call it a 180 career pivot, but definitely was in a very specific sector in an industry and taught themselves an entirely new skill set that was so interesting and intriguing to them, and took that time on their weekends to kind of get involved in it, and then started applying for jobs in that sector and recently manifested a job in that sector. So I just want to put it out there that the very rigid framework in which we think we have to express our gifts and essence may likely change, and to be open to that change. Another way this purpose aspect could express is even just getting really micro clear. And we talked about this in the episode with Jenna, but getting really clear on the very micro actions and shifts in your energy that you can do that no longer feel aligned. So for me, what that's looking like is even more refinement and delegation of the things that I don't feel lit up doing behind the scenes at TBM, that I feel a should or I feel responsible for. And how can I connect that with people who are so lit up to do those things, so I can focus on the things that are like knocking at the door, being like, hey, actually, I'm giving you a ton of ideas in this category. Like, let's move you over here. And so that is on me to set up those containers to support my team members, to champion them, to feel autonomous, to take over those things so they can feel totally confident just handling those things on themselves, so I can then get creative and pull the things I want. So that doesn't mean an overhaul of job or career or anything. It's just those little micro things that are taking away our energy, that are pulling away at us. How does our authentic essence want to express in this moment? And then the third example I'll give here with this is relationships. I'm noticing this happen where relationships are transforming. Either they're ending completely, friendships or romantic, or there was like momentum somewhere and then it's quiet. I'm getting a lot of people are having crickets with like, oh, we thought we were going to have this great friendship and then we don't hear anything. Or we thought we were going to have this great romantic relationship and then we don't hear anything. So if you're experiencing either of those things, again, it's back to that purpose. Okay, instead of saying, I really wanted this, I'm going to do whatever I can to maintain this or keep this connection, it's going back to self, sourcing our power within and saying, how do I want to show up in my friendships? How do I want to show up in my romantic relationships? Do I feel like I am doing that? Or do I feel like I am the like visual that comes up as like chameleoning myself and morphing myself to be liked because I'm just so wanting a relationship that might look like this? Like my logical mind thinks that this is the thing it has to be. So I'm going to morph myself to become it. And instead, the question from the universe is, can you stay in your own power and be that authentic expression of you, knowing that whether this is the friendship or this is the romantic relationship or not, you expressing from this energy, you showing up from this energy is the thing that's going to magnetize the exact thing you need. So those relationships might be expanders, but they're not the full thing unless they meet you where you're at as you're expressing from that place. A lot of people wrote in that they are releasing control. Control and surrender are mega during this time. This is going to be another year. We talk about this on tour. Lacey and Jenna talked about this a lot in the New York stop, but this is going to be another year of a lot of changes, a lot of stripping, transformations, identity shifts. And the more that we can get comfortable with our relationship to change, the stronger and more resilient our course is going to be. So if we can see all of the changes happening in our life, or even the potential changes that could occur without spiraling out and thinking of the worst case scenario, and actually get very rooted and back to the first thing I said, have that compass. What is my vision? Okay, I thought it was going to be through this pathway, but actually, can I be open to this change happening and it's going to come through a different pathway instead? And part of doing that is the surrender. There is a bit of gripping energy where we want it to be in the way we thought it was going to be presented, and our mind is not totally convinced we can get that need met in a new container. The other ping was that the relationship to change is your superpower. I'm going to say this again. Your relationship to change is your superpower. So if you can see change and shifting and expectations shifting without crumbling, you are in such a good position to navigate no matter what's coming up and to manifest very quickly on the other side. Now, in order to do that, we can't bypass all those inner child parts because change is extremely unnatural to us. We don't like change because it feels like fear. It feels like death. It feels like we are going against everything we expected to keep us safe. And this is where that inner child attunement comes into play. All of these themes that are coming up, the transformation, getting clear on your North Star, getting out of the distraction, experiencing those same core wound tests. It like almost gives me chills because when we decided to launch this end of year challenge, we made this decision before our money challenge was even out. So that was probably maybe like spring. We were like, okay, that's going to be the roadmap. That's going to be the tee up at the end of the year. And now that we're in this season and we're going into this challenge, this return to magic, this is the exact medicine in navigating these dynamics. Because the best way to attune to those parts, to meet those core wounds, is their originating source, which is childhood. So if you've been here for a while, you know this, but I just want to make this mention for anyone who hasn't connected with us before. But our blueprint of who we should be in the world, how we need to interact, how we identify as ourselves, our self-worth map of how we see ourselves, our confidence, our abilities, our gifts, our coping mechanisms, our self-sabotaging mechanisms. The blueprint is formed in childhood. From 0 to 7, and then even all the way up until 26, our brain is still forming and solidifying neural pathways. And once you're 26, you can still overwrite those neural pathways. As we know from learning from Dr. Tara Swart, our neural pathways are malleable, but they are basically a sponge soaking up all the blueprint information we need during that phase. And a lot of times in childhood, we aren't able to meet all of the needs of our authentic magnetic self. Our parents aren't, society isn't, our peers aren't. That is just part of the human experience. This is very, very common. It doesn't mean that you're broken or anything is wrong with you at all. We just all experience this. But the beauty of bringing awareness to what your blueprint actually looks like down there is because now you get to reclaim your power and go back to that authentic light that is within you that wants to emanate out from a place without programming, without shame, without limitation, without glass ceiling. And so much of it roots back down to sourcing safety and self-worth within, not leaning on anyone else to confirm you're good enough, not leaning on anyone else to confirm you're safe, being able to say like, I can step in and do that for myself. And when we have a baseline of that internally, and that comes from that consistent attunement to self, we are so resilient to go out and be our authentic self, share our magic, share our gifts, be who we want to be, not be so reactive to every little thing that comes our way, and really allows us to just reach our full potential of why we are on this planet at this time in this season. You've heard us talk about our Pathway membership, but what actually is it? It is an all-access membership where you can get every single workshop that we've ever created, all of our deep imaginings, which are our reprogramming audios, to help you manifest. You can access it on the desktop or in the TBM app on your phone directly. We, of course, have our foundational workshops, such as our How to Manifest workshop, which takes you step by step through this neural manifestation process to actually unblock, expand, and take aligned action to connect with your manifestations. Our How to Be Magnetic workshop, our Inner Child and Shadow workshops. And then, of course, we have a workshop if you are in a rut, if you're in a rock bottom, if you're in an up level, perhaps you need to set boundaries. Maybe you want to focus specifically on the block of money or love. It is all in there. And then twice a year as a community, we gather for our challenges. Our challenges are one of the most effective parts of the process because you get accountability. It is really a handheld experience in how to work through whatever the theme of that year's challenge is. And now to my absolute favorite part of our membership, which I think in and of itself would be worth the entire weight of the membership if we just had this alone, our Deep Imagining library. This library encompasses over 60 neural reprogramming audio tracks. They're self-hypnosis tracks that will really support you in any step of this journey. If you're needing calming, nervous system regulation, unblocking with a specific test or trigger, going through a difficult time, processing a big emotion, or maybe you just want reinforcing, how to reinforce those neural pathways of confidence, abundance, self-worth, deservingness, and connection with your dream life. And not only that, if you go to the app, we just launched Deep Imagining playlists where we're grouping different themes of DIs together. So no matter what you're going through, you have something for you. And we're constantly dropping new playlists as well as brand new Deep Imaginings. And if you need more support in your process, you can go to our brand new video series, Channelings with Lacey, where she touches on the exact energetics that are going on right now in manifestation and how it may apply to your life. So obviously, I am a huge fan of this membership. The peace of mind I get from being able to have all the tools I need at my disposal, no matter where I'm at with my life, if shit's hitting the fan, if I'm feeling dysregulated, if I'm needing to come back to my center, if I'm needing to brainstorm or daydream or connect with what my vision for my future is, every single tool is in there to support me. And don't just take my word for it. We have thousands of testimonials of people who have had incredible success stories with these tools. So take the guesswork out of your manifestation process and get real tools that are going to give you real results. And right now we are launching our biggest sale of the season. Our big end of year sale is officially live. Get in on the Pathway membership for the lowest prices. Start manifesting your dream life, crafting your list, unblocking all of the limiting beliefs, fears, self-sabotaging behaviors that are standing in between you and your dream life. Now is the time. You are worth it. And come join us, especially as we kick off our end of year challenge on December 1st. So this season in December, we are going through every single phase of the inner child developmental stages, and not in a way of rehashing every single pain point and trauma and all of that. This is going to be the nourishing way to just soak in and meet our needs from each of those stages and phases, and also reclaim any parts of us that we may have left behind. So an example of this, and we're going to talk about this more in upcoming episodes. We're going to talk about this more with Janelle, who was like my ride or die helping craft this challenge. But when we can allow ourselves to feel safe and secure internally, meet our own needs, have a regulated nervous system, that is when those authentic pieces of self feel safe to come back online. It is a return to self, a return to our magic, a return to our essence. And that is what we want to walk through with you guys this season. So obviously, if you are not a Pathway member yet, please join us on this journey as we go through this step by step. You can also follow along on the podcast. We're going to be talking about this more and more. But I think however you connect with us this season, just make it a priority to slow down, to listen to where your heart is leading you. And that can only really come from those moments of stillness, those pockets of stillness. It doesn't mean that life is going to get any less crazier or things are any less busy, but it's so important to find those pockets of joy for you. And in that, trusting and surrendering that more magic can unfold from that space than any control, than any checklist, than any being a good student, doing it the right way, dropping all of that, and really letting this time be your magnetic holiday season, letting your heart lead you where it is calling you. If you know anything about this TBM method, you know that authenticity equals magnetism. Authenticity is your essence, is your joy, is who you are as you move through the world, is the things that lights you up, your values, right? And so when we can get even more clear on that, when we can understand what that is and who that is and the things that bring us joy, we will have more energy. We will have more ease. The universe will meet us with more flow. We don't have to force it. We don't have to prove our worth. We don't have to control the environment to confirm that we're safe in the way that our child brain thinks that we need to be safe. We can source safety in the moment, and we can come back to that moment of safety anytime we need. So I just invite you guys to come on this journey with us, whatever that looks like for you, and meet yourself again. There are so many of us that just need that hope, that dream, that miracle of your inner child's magic again. That is what moves mountains. That is what creates miracles. That is what co-creates with the energy of love and joy and blessings for all. And I think it's a really potent time that this is all thematically coming up at this end of the year. And I also just feel like there is this push and pull between this vision of our life, of what it can feel like, not even just what it can look like, what it can feel like on a day-to-day basis. And then there's this essence of these core wounds, these self-sabotaging behaviors, these coping mechanisms. It feels like they're in competition. They're battling each other, and they're actually not. This coping part is just saying like, hey, I want to work with you differently to get you here. And actually all the places that you're being tested and triggered and pushed upon and poked at and prodded at, all of those things is just intentional to roadmap you back to this vision. Because without this friction of the test, of the challenge, it's almost like we wouldn't be motivated to go seek out that next step. Everything would just feel comfortable. There'd be no reason for growth. So almost reframing some of the hard challenges that we may be facing in this season as divine blessings, if you can go that far. If you can't, that's fine. But what even small tests or triggers popping up could you reframe as a divine blessing of the universe saying that you are so worthy of sharing your gifts, your purpose, your essence. It is so needed in this world right now that we are going to help move you along through the lens of this curriculum of your own tests and blocks and triggers so you can connect with this greater purpose. And I'm telling you guys right now, I've said this on tour, if you are getting pings for your purpose, for your authentic expression, for something to be outwardly in service of the world. And it doesn't have to be grand. It doesn't have to be like you have to make this giant company and do all these things. It could literally be, I want to make watercolors and share them with my neighbors. It could literally be, I want to connect more intentionally with the farmers market and all of the farmers that come and bring produce every week. It could be so small to so big, but whatever that is for you, that is just knocking at your door, just pinging you, reminding you, popping in your head. And maybe your voice in your head is like, oh, that'd be nice one day, but not today. Or, oh, I wish I could do that, but I don't have time. Whatever is pinging for you, do not ignore it. Not only will this bless you, this will bless all. You will not even begin to fathom or even understand the ripple effect you will have by following those pings of what that vision is that brings you that joy and passion. Especially for people that get so caught up in the mental gymnastics. They talk themselves out of things. They procrastinate on things. They take forever to finally press publish or send that email or reach out to that stranger or knock at their neighbor's door, whatever it is. They talk themselves out of it, or they're so afraid of taking that action. I almost want to just give you the message that it's not even about you, that you are being led by something so much bigger than just your experience, and that in you following your divine path, you are blessing so many others that you could not even understand the ripple effect of. I feel like there's a movie about this where it's like each person does, it's like maybe 6 degrees of some, I'll have to look it up. I feel like Will Smith's in it, but they have, each one does something and that positive thing has a ripple effect on the next person. And you get to see like, wow, like my impact is so much bigger and grander than I could have imagined. And I just did one small thing, like said hi to a stranger or tipped extra at the coffee shop or whatever your little ping is to express your joy, express your essence. And it's not this big achievement. It is the day-to-day expression of it. So if you are feeling into all of this season, join us at this end of year challenge. It is the Return to Magic Challenge, 15 days, super digestible, moving through every phase of inner child. You will get the nourishment. You will be able to reconnect with the magnetic rituals from that season. We are kicking off the pre-week on December 1st, and you'll be able to access all into the next year so you can kind of move at your own pace as you need it. I just feel like so excited and hopeful for everyone on this journey because I just know that, we've all been in it the past few years. There is no denying that. And there are so many blessings that are happening simultaneously, and holding both is something I think we're going to have to get better at doing. And also standing in our joy when we are in those moments are so important to share that energy of hope with others as well. Thank you guys. And yeah, join our next book club, which will be next Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. PST. You can go back and watch the first 2 if you feel called. The challenge kicks off on December 1st. And I'm just wishing you all a very magnetic holiday season. This is one to not let the distractions take us under, but to take our power back, to be intentional and allow the magic to unfold around us, because there is so much magic and so much potential energy that we have yet to even tap into, especially together. All right, we'll see you next week.